Just 1 second, guys. This isn't published yet, so nobody can probably see it, but just give me 1 minute to make this public and post it to my Facebook page. Always takes me a second to do this. A little more prepared today. Where are we? Yeah, it's public. That is public. I need to go to Facebook. Is anybody watching yet? Okay, yeah. Sorry guys, just 1 more second. Post it to Facebook. I need to do it on my page. Where are we? Create post. Where are we? Alright, just 1 more second, guys. What's on your mind right now? Okay, we posted. We are posted. Is the camera level? The camera's been crooked lately. I can't tell because there's like a little bar on my where the camera is, and it covers the line I usually go by. Actually, I'll look at the screen down here. Better turn down my volume. Where are we? Oops. I don't know why I'm having so many issues with the screen being level lately. Alright, that should be good enough. I'm gonna try and set up my other camera here, guys, while I wait for you guys to... Okay, we have 5 people in now. So I don't know if I can really try and set up my camera. Well, I'll do it before any questions. What am I doing? Okay, good. I wanted to also read off some forum posts, not just forum posts, but also Facebook group posts. Some just one that I figured that would be interesting for people to, that they'd be interested in hearing. That is, evening, brother. Evening to yourself as well. Crap, I have some forum posts that I need to reply to. I'll do that after. Maybe I'll answer some of them on here, but also reply to them later. So guys, just still messing around with this. Whoa, how much did subscribers just jump from more plays, more days? I don't remember where I was prior. 1,300 maybe. It might have, don't quote me on it. It might have been 1,300. It could have been 1,300 to 1,600 is what it was. I think. MENT as testosterone replacement. Thoughts? I'm running 30 milligrams a week. Feel great. It is one that I hope to be great because it is an amazing drug. The size, the fullness, everything. It is an amazing drug. But there was a study actually. The dose is a little bit lower side, so it doesn't create as much estrogen as people think. People are getting estrogenic sides, I blame, to be using testosterone. They think they have MENT, but MENT is insanely expensive, and actually their source is just selling them testosterone. So there's actually a study in comparison to just testosterone where it showed MENT gave estrogen deficiency in the men, and 75% of the men actually had sexual dysfunction. And this is the issue. I've noticed this happened to myself. Nothing's ever caused a libido loss in me, and yeah, MENT destroyed me for like 7 months. No matter what I did, any from a PCT or this item or that item, getting back on cycle, nothing recovered me, but it just took a long time. I was great for a bit on it, and majority of almost every single person I know that has used MENT for a decent cycle has had an insane libido loss for months on end. That was very tricky to recover. I ended up finding out a slight aid to it that helped people recover pretty decently. But I always warn people now, MENT, my experience, causes an insane libido loss after so many weeks on that is very difficult to recover from. Yeah, and so many people, I'll tell them this and be like, no, I'm sure I'll be fine, and then how many weeks later they're messaging me like, wow, like I'm done, like my sexual function is fried. Matthew Jones, yo, hey, how's it going? So guys, I'm still trying to grab a post. Where's it? Okay. I'm gonna read some topics that I thought would be interesting to people as they do the live Q&A on the forums in my group and stuff like that. Just because they're really interesting topics, kind of with a lot of like science, bro myths behind them and whatnot. Are hemp seeds easy on digestion? So for those who don't know, like, I'm very known for helping people with digestive issues. Hemp seeds, like, I've never really seen anybody have an issue with hemp seeds, like, ever. I find most seeds in general actually help speed up people's digestion due to the arginine content in the rich in magnesium and stuff like that. So yeah, I've like never seen, and I use a lot of real world experience with stuff like, with a lot of real world experience with stuff like this, because there's, whether it's us lacking the data or we just don't know everything about the digestive system and what can cause negative effects and whatnot. So when I see random things cause digestive issues like coconut oil, watermelon, and most people be like, why would those cause digestive issues? Well, silicates and orange juice, olive oil can cause digestive issues because of silicates as well. But hemp seeds, I've like literally never, and I have thousands and thousands over years of the worst digestive issue clients and followers that no doctor could cure in like 10 years of trying every sorts of treatment and this and that, and yeah, I've never seen hemp issues cause an issue. The live stream streak is going strong. Absolutely, I'm gonna try and do daily. I really want to work up to a video daily and live stream. So yeah, I need to bring my computer closer. I need to figure out a solution for that. Maybe I should just increase my screen size because I always have it on like a smaller setting so I can fit more in. How long for pain to go away after an IM shot? Individual. And it depends on if it's a newbie muscle, no matter what, usually it'll hurt. But it depends on the solvents and stuff and the concentration of the drug. A higher concentration drug that's not staying in solute almost no matter what will cause pain. And it could last, on average, PIP lasts, depends if it's from like it crashing, it'll last about a week. But if it's properly not too much harsh solvents that can cause like lumps in the muscle, like a benzobentonate, it shouldn't cause any pain at all and going easy, bam, done. But when people make higher dosage drugs and too much solvents, usually about a week. Watching all your Q&As, very good content, man. Keep it up. What's your opinion on 1,000 milligrams vitamin C cap? Some days my vitamin C intake is low. I use them, but I understand that I should skip it, right? Yeah, because when you're taking these, as explained in my multivitamin video here on YouTube, I explained, you take an item and it's going to throw multiple other items off where it normally come with, it would normally come with its, whether it's counter nutrients or balancing nutrients, whatever, and then it doesn't have all the same, what am I going with this? It doesn't have the same features as a natural vitamin. Go to chronometer.com, think of a whole bunch of foods that you like that you believe are high in vitamin C, and find a way to get that in there easier. I find with diets is about finding the foods that you like. So you'll eat them often to incorporate them, in your diet. I watched your video on multivitamins. Do you recommend any nutrient supplements at all? Yes. Hold on, sir. So yeah, in generally whole food form whenever we possibly can. So example, vitamin K2, we can get it in whole food form. And the reason I suggest vitamin K2, I'll try and summarize this because I talk about it a lot, is that, example, our cows are normally fed grass, so they'd get K1, convert K1 into K2 in their guts, which we don't do adequately. When they do this, we'd eat their meat and we'd get a lot more K2. And it's a very hard nutrient to get today. Fermented soybeans, sure, you can eat them, but most people won't, which is natto, which is a whole food supplement source of vitamin K2 and K7. And K2 is needed today because we don't get enough of it, and it breaks down calcium in the arteries. And as you know, with heart disease, high cholesterol doesn't cause it. It is high calcium in the blood which causes it. Cholesterol is just there to heal the tissues in your body, and it's there to deal with inflammation and whatnot. And cholesterol makes up every single cell in your body. It is those people that they found, it wasn't with high cholesterol, it was with high calcium in the blood. Cholesterol was just there. There's a high calcium that hardens the arteries, as we already know, and causes LVH. So it is calcium. It is the K2 which will help break down the calcium in the arteries and help create the growth factors to create bone. So K2 is one of the very few I suggest. I suggest some other ones which I normally shouldn't or wouldn't, for my own opinion. I don't know. Such as carnitine on cycle, which enhances the androgen receptors immensely. People who are on TRT doses, you know, they feel like they're on a mega dose of the cycle. Your androgen receptors matter more than your serum level. So certain nutrients like that, amino acid, you know, not a vitamin, mineral, certain things like that. But as for vitamin and minerals, generally only vitamin K2, unless somebody has a severe health issue. Like recently I had a person who his heart rate kept going up to 300. Doctor said he didn't have more than a decade left to live, basically. He would get his heart restarted, like sometimes 3 times in a week, you know, cardio revision. In certain cases like that, where I suspect certain mineral deficiencies causing the issue, like him, I use synthetic forms of supplemental vitamins to help correct those deficiencies, bring him back in state. And after about a week, he was fully fine. His heart rate's the lowest it's ever been, into the 70s and stuff. And he hasn't had a cardio vision since. He's basically fully fine. So certain cases, I will suggest synthetic vitamins to bring up, you know, levels if it's required. Sorry guys, 1 second, I need to send something on my phone that I forgot. Let me did I put my other light up? Yeah, I did. Hold on. I just want to see how this looks. What do you think, guys? Light on or light off? I know, kind of random, but that light's a little bright, and yeah, let me so I answered the multivitamin question. Thoughts and benefits, nutritional value of high percentage dark chocolate. Absolutely, it has a whole bunch of different, where am I going here with this? Whole bunch of different special, whether you want to call them like nutrients that aren't vitamins and minerals, that are very helpful for our body, you know, like antioxidant wise, as well as some very few nutrients that we lack in our diet, like magnesium is a big one. And this was kind of, people assumed this was a myth for a long time. Food cravings actually shows what we're missing. There was a recent study of people low in magnesium and copper, which they noticed, everybody who craved chocolate was actually low in magnesium and copper. So, you know, we could link that to that. So when your body asks for something too, we are generally lacking a specific nutrient. What was it saying? So, however, there's one issue with it. People who have histamine intolerance, I know they cannot handle dark chocolate well, so if it's upsetting your stomach, that. Let me write something down, guys. I meant to do a video on that, actually, on food cravings are proven real with nutrient cravings and deficiencies. That I've been meaning to do a video on that. When using emu oil and castor oil for a hair loss protocol, how would you recommend using it? Leaving it overnight, or should I wash it out after a few hours? So this, I tell people, use it in a way that doesn't hinder your life, because when you make things a chore, you likely won't do them. So an example would be, let's say, you know, you don't want to leave it in your hair at all. I tell people, even before the shower, like let's say before you go shower, wet your hair with water so it can apply easier, and coat your hair with the oils and this and that. Shave, go to the washroom, or just wash your body for a good even if you leave it on for 5 minutes. 5 minutes with a deep, hard massage to make sure you rub it in good and get some of the benefits is way insanely better than none. So don't make it a chore. If you left it on all night, that would be more beneficial, absolutely. But don't make it a chore. Just do it. That is my biggest thing. Just do it any which way. Even sometimes I tell people, if you have shorter hair, if you want to apply it twice a day, apply it and then leave it on for 5-10 minutes. Or let's say you have a couple hours at home, you want to answer some emails and you don't want to have a full shower. I tell them stick the head in the bathroom, or in your sink or something like that. Sorry guys, one sec. Yeah, stick your head in your bathroom or your sink or something like that, and wash it out quickly. And it's quick and simple and easy for most people to do the method I use, because I tell people don't use harsh soaps and stuff like that. I use a bar soap, an emu oil bar soap, so you get double the benefit. One of the very few items proven to increase skin hair DNA synthesis by 20%. And wash your hair with that. You rub it in your hands like normal. It's a bar soap. Rub it in your hands and wash your hair with that. It leaves your hair feeling sleek, sheen, clean, and it's more healthy, and it has some benefits for hair growth in your hair. So yeah, don't make it a chore. And those, there's some tips on it that way. Did I read that? I think I read that one. Where are we? Really enjoying the live streams, bro. Keep it up. I appreciate it. Thank you. I appreciate the support. Like always, guys. When you guys sub, or when you get sub, when you watch, when you join my live streams, checking out my forums, and when you share my content, all of that stuff. I appreciate you guys been doing lately. Oh, I don't know if anybody shared myself. It's kind of hard to check, but if you are sharing myself, I really insanely appreciate that. Appreciate everybody who's signed up to my forum, support me. I appreciate everybody joining, asking questions, talking about me anywhere. I appreciate it all, guys, highly, extremely. Thoughts on topical adductoride? Works just like any other topical, whether it's anti-androgen or 5-AR inhibitor and stuff like that. There's a million, I said this for years now, there's a million items that are proven to regrow your hair, okay? Whether even if it's in vitro or vivo, like the petri dish or human living humans. It all works. What I do, go to tn.com, you'll see my hair loss article under articles. What I have in there, my items I feel are the most proven benefits from each different way or mechanism. Because if you want it, you could use literally 10,000 items to help regrow your hair. So I feel like I picked out the items that I feel are the best from each different mechanism and each different point. So it's not on my list, but it does work absolutely. I've been adding 7 to 10 yolks for the last 3 days, but my libido issue has not improved. Any suggestions, or shall I wait for a bit? I believe I remember you from yesterday. I think you were the guy that was. I don't remember your issue. You're going to have to remind me on your issue to for me to give you further benefit. Were you the guy that was cutting and eating very low calories and noticed your libido was gone? So one, just to see if it's to do with diet, good, you up your fats. 7 to 10 yolks is good. However, up your carbs too, a lot. Just, get out of your diet for a little bit, a couple of days. Jack up your carbs, and this is a proven benefit. People who are dieting over a course of 12 days, those who refeed for 2 days in a row saw way more fat loss. So refeeds are always good. Jack up your carbs. I don't know your issue. Sorry, I'm not giving you any advice. I don't know if I get in trouble for this. I'm not giving you any advice. Don't do anything I'm saying. This is what I would do. I would also up vitamin E. I would take a vitamin E supplement just to see if you have if I have a secondary issue going on, such as prolactin and or estrogenic. Either way, vitamin E is very proven to help libido immensely. Jack up the carbs and add vitamin E for a couple of days. That's what I would do, not you. For most people, natty and enhanced creatine will accelerate hair loss. Absolutely. So I always like to use science and anecdotal experience that I have enough weight and merit to it. So it was proven to increase DHT levels very highly, I think like 65%. And in my experience on myself and immense others, it increases hair loss worse than like a decent dose of testosterone. Very strange to say, but anecdotal experience, absolutely freaking hard on hair loss and an insane shed. Would you recommend chronometer gold? You don't need it. No, I mean, if you're getting all the basic nutrients and stuff like that, you know what I mean? Like that is the main thing we're using chronometer for. You're getting all those basic nutrients. You're getting your nutrients. That's the main reason we're using it. Dealing with low estradiol, but fats are in order and natural. Could it be anything other than low copper on keto diet as well? So low carb is proven to blunt hormones as well. To prove what it is, I would up your carbs, other than low copper. So one, have you had your copper tested? If you haven't had your copper tested, what is your copper in your diet? It suggested that the RDA for copper might be about 8 times of what it is. So here's what I would do and see. I can usually, it's so funny with playing with nutrients, I can usually induce gyno and stuff in people like that. Like that's how much nutrients play a role in hormones. I would say go out and get a copper supplement. Sorry, I'm not giving you advice, don't take anything. If it was me to test if it was low copper, I'd go out and get a copper supplement, and I would take a decent dose of copper and see if my estrogen raises, if it get any estrogenic symptoms at all, and to see if it is a copper issue. I'd also eat more carbs and make sure that's not plummeting my hormones. Hey, I just joined your site. I've been wondering if insulin use gives extra gains on cycle, or is it only worth using if there is aid needed to get food in when pushing the body above what it can handle? Sorry. Appreciate you joining my site. Absolutely. Thank you for the support. Remember to post on the forums. A lot of people, when they join it, they end up like sending me PMs or this or that, and then people don't get to see the post and I get to answer. So post all the questions you want to the forum. I appreciate you joining. Thanks. So yes. So it depends on the insulin too, because all insulins are different, each analog. Like lactase actually binds stronger to the insulin receptor than your normal insulin. It has stronger IGF-1 binding, and it doubled your IGF-1 than with a very low normal dose. And you'll notice from these benefits, you get the GH look from lactase, specifically like the big doubts and the big traps. But absolutely, it won't increase protein. It'll increase things like your protein synthesis and stuff higher than you would naturally, even if you don't need extra insulin. So absolutely yes, it'll really far shoot. What I don't know what I'm trying to say. It'll really, what's the word? Skyrocket your gains in a sense. So absolutely, Atlantis is my favorite, bar none. If you're just going to use one, it's so safe. It's favorite. Don't take insulin. This is what I would do. What are your thoughts on the snake diet? I think you're one of my great members. I'm trying to remember what the snake diet was. Obviously, I think it's ridiculous. I know everybody was joking about it for a bit. I think it was where you don't eat anything. Wasn't it? Was it a joke? I can't remember. Wasn't the guy saying you don't eat anything for 6 months or something like that, and then drink your own urine? I can't remember. It's completely ridiculous. Good way to lose all your muscle and and healthy, and yeah, it just yeah. I can't believe people actually follow it. It's insane. How much muscle can a 52-year-old man build in his first year? Never been in gym before. Body weight 73 kg, height 170. Whew. I'm going to assume you mean not. I'll kind of answer in a few different ways. I'm going to assume you mean natural. Go to my site, tan.com, under articles, read all my free articles. Very important for you to ensure you're getting adequate hormone production and adequate nutrients to build muscle. How much? The first year, if you do it right, you can gain an immense amount of muscles. And then if you're following my dietary methods, you're ensure your hormones are jacked through the roof. I've had people up to 1,000 ng easily, even middle-aged people. So I'm going to kind of go over, you can gain an amount. So 70 kg, I don't know your body fat or stuff like that. So it's so hard to say I gave you a number. But easily the first year, if you are underweight, the first couple months, you can easily gain like 30 pounds if you don't have much muscle tissue. Easily, very easily, and that is natural. A complete newbie will always skyrocket their gains, like you will, if you do it right. So many newbies go in and they don't do it right and they don't gain much muscle. So if you do it right, a couple months, you'll put on 30 pounds solid lean tissue, but do it right. One, train with immense, especially for a newbie, you don't know intensity well, and train immense intensity. When you're lifting, you want to go to, I suggest people usually lift to failure to start, so you know where failure is. You lift that weight, keep lifting that weight till literally you're like half reps. You can barely move and you can barely get it up an inch. Lift till failure for a couple weeks. This way you know where failure is. And once you know where failure is, you lift 1 to 2 reps shy of failure. And when you're lifting 1 to 2 shy of failure, you're at that point where it's like, you're about to get to that point where you can't lift it again. And then that's when you stop. What was I saying? So yeah. You need intensity. If your intensity is there, you will see great gains. After intensity, ensure you're eating a good amount of healthy fats, a lot of fats. You need cholesterol, a good bit of cholesterol for your hormone production, but just fats in general. again, go to tan.com, read my articles, and this will explain the diet in depth because I'm just going to shortchange it here. If you're getting adequate fat to jack up that hormone production, you are going to see immense benefits from that alone. Add a few items like in my androgen receptor downregulation article, like carnitine is proven to boost libido way better than 100 milligrams test a day. And that's because your androgen receptor content matters more than your serum hormone levels and how you respond to resistance training. Those had the strongest androgen receptor content saw the most benefits from resistance training. If you have very poor receptor content, you won't see any benefits. So go to my short versus long cycles and add in the items that are the natural ones for androgen receptor content that will skyrocket your gains. Intensity in your workouts. Eat adequate, high protein, high carbs of nutrient dense foods. Again, you go to my articles, you'll follow everything I do and you'll know what I'm talking about. So like no white rice, potatoes and stuff like that, jack up your potassium for insulin production, insulin sensitivity. Low potassium is equal with low testosterone and low growth hormone production. And majority of people only get 1,500 milligrams of potassium. RDA is like 4,700, depending on the country. Intensity, proper diet, no junk food, lots of fat, no processed food, lots of fats, adequate protein and healthy carbs, and the androgen receptor content items, and you do all that right properly, you will see amazing freaking gains. Yeah, just so many newbies do it probably, right? They lack the intensity, they lack the diet, their fats are low, they're eating processed carbs, not getting the nutrients to build muscle. Protein doesn't build muscle. Protein, phosphorus, potassium, vitamin A, all that stuff with protein builds muscle. And when people eat white rice devoid of nutrients, that's where they really shit out their gains. So hopefully that summary was good enough. Digest all my articles and do those things. That's how you do it, right? Are there any specific vitamins or minerals you recommend bodybuilders eat more than the RDI? Absolutely. Every single micronutrient you eat is being used essentially by the macronutrients you eat and to build, like I just said, muscle is not protein. Muscle is protein, it's phosphorus, potassium, it's all this other crap. So when you're, and the RDA is just kind of made up, it's like what we assume is best based off, studies on deficiencies and stuff. We're lacking growth. Where is it going? So muscle is not just protein, it's not just fat, it's not just whatever. When you're above RDA, because example, carbs require a very specific amount of the B vitamins. It requires a very specific amount of potassium to store as glycogen and stuff like that. So, let's say, I'm going to throw out random figures. Let's say 200 grams of carbs requires 3,000 milligrams of potassium and 2 milligrams B1. We eat 400 grams of carbs. We're going to need double the amount of those if those are the exact calculation. So, if you're eating double your calories, double your carbs, double your protein, double your everything, a majority of the nutrients should be at near double. We can't even go by RDA. I hate going by RDA. It's made up. We don't even know. Copper suggested it might be 8 times the amount of what it should be. So I like people to eat a natural balanced diet. That way, a variety, because as I explained before, variety is the only way to get all your nutrients in adequate amounts. Eat a natural variety diet, because when you go and eat processed white rice, right, you are taking away all the nutrients, taking away the hull, the brown. In cultures who survive off white rice end up getting beriberi disease, which is B1 deficiency, even though white rice has a little bit, but it doesn't have enough to utilize all the carbs. So you're eating all this carbs and you need this much B1, but you're only getting this much B1. Your body is like, oh, I can't utilize all these carbs. I'm going to steal B1 and deplete your B1 as much as I can and create a whole host of diseases like muscle wasting and all this other stuff. So, yeah. Don't eat any processed foods and you are okay, and you are getting your RDAs that you need at double or triple amounts to match those foods. Stop basing things off macros and calories, and so, a little bit. Don't just focus on the macros. The food choices matter, and that will ensure you are getting the adequate phosphorus you need for the protein and the adequate potassium for this. So yeah, but we don't know those numbers. But when you eat a healthy, actually non-processed food diet, you will get it all. Because remember, the processed food is what takes out the nutrients. Whether it's white rice, whether it's oils, because oils like seed oils would normally have vitamin E and this and that, right? And magnesium, when it's oil, you chucked all those out or majority of them out. Same with polyunsaturated fatty acids. Every gram of polyunsaturated fatty acid that you eat requires a very specific amount of vitamin E. This is why polyunsaturated fatty acid oils in studies, like fish oil even, will cause vitamin E depletion. That's so horrible and dangerous, like antioxidant status and oxidization. So horrible. No processed foods at all. If it is an oil or if the food started off from something and something's been taken out of it, avoid it. Is basically what they say. What do you think of paleo diet and low carb diet in general? Is there a link between low testosterone and low carbs? If yes, what types and how much of carbs you consider viable eating? Absolutely, there's also a strong link low carb and thyroid hormone shutdown. I don't like any diet that excludes things in a sense besides unnatural foods. So paleo diet I like, but paleo diet to me is a natural healthy diet. People don't do it right, and it's horrible in a sense, the way it's been put out there. The way I like to tell people to eat in my diet, so I have a thing called the Camel Diet in my Facebook group and my forums, where I give my exact thoughts on fully what I think is the most healthiest diet based off, the most research we have, and because nobody knows a perfect diet, but we can base it off the healthiest cultures in the world who live the longest, and that's what I do. So my basis for the best diet is a mixture of, you could call it East Asian diet and a mixture of paleo diet. We rid all the unhealthy stuff from the East Asian diet, like some oils that newer East Asians. So a traditional, not new age, traditional East Asian diet would be better to describe it. Which, the Okinawa, I'm sorry, the can't even pronounce the word, Okinawans, their diet is going further away from their traditional diet a little bit, but that is a good example of the culture who lives the longest, where I base some stuff off, on average 100 years old, I don't know, 110, I don't know. Or the highest amount of 110-year-olds in the world. I can't remember. So yeah, we need carbs. Don't exclude food groups, and eat more naturally. You know what I mean? If we killed an animal in a wild, this is what I hate people do with paleo diet. Maybe they'll add some liver, but they'll eat low fat. They're eating like steak and stuff like that. I'm sorry, but in the wild, you're not grabbing the steak and you're not grabbing the muscle meat and just eating that and missing out on all those nutrients. It's a stupid diet. So I like, when you see my basis, it depends on where you are in your bodybuilding stage, if you are. So I like to eat the animal as a whole, in a sense, as much as we could, in kind of like a ratio, you know what I mean? Like adequate, maybe chicken wing and chicken thighs and stuff like that, and maybe one meal breast and one meal the fatty meat and so on. Very well balanced diet, again, depending on where you are with your body count. Lots of vegetables, lots of fruits. And the one thing that feel paleo diet and all these other diets don't stress that I stress is variety. They say, oh, go on a paleo diet, eat some meats, eat some vegetables, and and there you go. That's horrible. You're not going to get all your nutrients and all this, because certain foods like tomatoes have lipogene, which has so many benefits, and another food won't have it, but they'll have another item. So if you're not eating variety, you're not at your peak healthiest. You're missing so many items that we probably don't even know about yet, that is in a variety of food. My key in my diet is variety of unprocessed foods, and that's where paleo diet really skimps out and loses. On top of it, keto diet is horrible. It's shown, especially diets high in saturated fats alone. Google saturated fats and insulin resistance keto diet. Insulin resistance all throughout every single study. Then people, oh, but my blood sugars are better. Okay, your blood sugar is better because you're not eating carbs, but your actual insulin sensitivity is going to shit. Hate keto diet and don't like paleo diet. I like a healthy variety diet and natural diet. And then one thing most people don't touch on is cooking methods. Paleo, none of that stuff touches on cooking methods. Cooking methods, we know when we cook food at very high temperatures, it creates so many toxins, if you want to call it, like ages and stuff like that. But not everybody's going to follow this to a T, but as much as you can, especially your meats, only steaming them is the most healthiest. One second, guys, I just got to remember something I meant to do a topic on. Okay. Okay, where were we? No, I think I finished. There's also ingesting low doses of castor oil for hair loss. Yeah, it has benefit, absolutely. Why not? Very low dose, obviously, so you don't get its purgative effect. Is Androgen camo approved? Every steroid is camo approved to the sides you want to avoid. On mycitan.com, I have an article. Wait, are you? Yeah, I think you remember. Or is it? I don't remember. Anyways, I explained this a few times. I'll explain it again. Pick your cycles based off the sides you want to avoid. So all steroids can all steroids are bad. Don't use steroids. But we base it off the sides you want to avoid and the sides you're prone to. If you're prone to hair loss, my biggest issue with the andro is those prone to hair loss. You cannot use it. Otherwise, it is a great drug. Skincare routine advice. Acne is freaking killing me, but in the past 2 years since I hopped on a version of vertical diet to improve gut health, it got better. Vertical diet doesn't improve gut health. Freaking hate vertical diet. Vertical diet is a ripoff of the Rapey diet. Freaking hate Rapey diet. You go there, people have so many health issues. Vertical diet is creating nutrient deficiencies and causing toxicity of specific vitamins like vitamin A and stuff like that with all the sweet potatoes and carrots. It's ridiculous. The reason your acne probably improved is because you're overloading your body with vitamin A and drying out your sebum glands, which is dangerous long term. And you know, you maybe have some hair loss now, or you may get some hair loss later. It can impair liver function, thyroid function, but yeah, it's cleaning up your acne. A vertical diet is horrible. The nutrients, and I know he's improved over the years by adding some nutrients here and there, but it is horrible. It is freaking horrible. Just things like orange juice, lots of orange juice, sweet potato, and then just white rice. There's no nutrients in white rice. It doesn't reset your gut health. It's you taking out a whole bunch of issues that can cause gut health, gut issues, and avoiding them. You still have those gut issues. It's just you add those foods back, then you get them. It's just you're avoiding them. So that's why you're not getting the gut issues. You want to actually fix your gut issues, fix whatever's causing, whether it's the slow digestion or the gut bacteria disruption, actually fix it. You avoiding it doesn't fix it at all. You, what was I saying? So yeah, usually so there multiple things can cause acne. So uncontrolled estrogen and stuff like that can. So you know, you lacking vitamin A, but you're probably getting toxic amounts of it. You lacking vitamin E is a big one. But the main things I find with acne in people is one, dairy. Get dairy out, but I think you probably have due to hormones in it. And after that, what this is I can tie with it. One of the biggest things is a disruption between monounsaturated fatty acids and polyunsaturated fatty acid. One will make your sebum thinner, one will make your sebum thicker and clog. Usually what I find is people were eating too much monofats and or still are, like olive oil, peanut butter, or you know, even meats that are a bit higher, and not enough polyunsaturated fatty acids. Increase your polyunsaturated fatty acids and or check your estrogen with vitamin E or whatnot. Hi Tan, what can I do for low SHBG in cycle? It's always low even when I'm not on any gear. Usually that's a lack of fat issue. That's why monounsaturated fatty acids. That's why there's studies on stuff like olive oil. Usually tell people to start by adding olive oil, 3 tablespoons a day, and increase your copper in your diet, and then slowly work on your fats that way with more whole food fats. What is the best hair safe cutting protocol for competition prep? So again, on my site, channel.com, I have an article where it's the most hair safe steroid cycles on my forums. I'll go over that anyways here. Sort of my immense amounts of experience, because there's no studies on drugs and hair loss, you know, especially in comparisons. Thousands, because I'm known as a hair loss guy, thousands of followers and clients over 10 years with my, with mainly hair loss prone individuals. Every single person, don't care who it is, low-dose Anavar, low-dose Primo, 100 milligrams Primo, 10 milligrams Anavar, all causes hair loss. It does. And I've, you know, did so much research with just doing one compound at a time and this and that, except for things like, you know, Primo, because obviously that's going to kill your estrogen. But, you know, adding Primo to, let's say, Deca cycle and so on. The only safe hair steroids is Deca and D-ball, nothing else. And Trend, possibly, I haven't had thousands, hundreds of people or whatever to test it on to know if it's hair safe, but everybody I have, it's been hair safe. But Deca and D-ball, there's nothing else. You're going to shed on everything else. Like my anecdotal experience, immense amount of experience, you will freaking shed. Is benzoate in all injectables? No, it just depends on what the source, how they're making it. I've elevated prolactin, but everything else is in normal. Been taking ZMA supplement and ashwagandha. Okay, some any experience on ashwagandha? Absolutely, ashwagandha is great. Lower prolactin, increased thyroid hormone, increased testosterone. Really great drug. However, I find it can kill some people's libido and give them sleep issues when it jacks up thyroid and stuff too much. My biggest thing for prolactin elevated is what I noticed is a lack of vitamin E in the diet. You can supplement for a little bit and or focus on increasing vitamin E in your diet, but usually to get things down, I like to jack it up for a bit, like 800 to 1200 IU for a little bit myself. Don't listen to what I say. Of vitamin E from like all 8 forms, like New Roots brand. And that's why in studies it's proven to improve libido and stuff like that. It's really great for prolactin. Calcium a bit as well. Another live Q&A. Awesome, bro. I've enjoyed these a lot the last few days. I appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Again, guys, everybody, who's been watching, I appreciate it. Thanks so much. Everybody who's been sharing my stuff, if you have been, thanks so much. Everybody who subbed, thank you. Everybody who signed up to my forums and stuff like that, thanks so much. I appreciate it all, guys. You know, you sharing my stuff, whether it's forums, Reddit, it helps so much. I honestly appreciate it. Thank you. Obviously, without you guys watching me and sharing and subbing and being here and stuff like that, I would go nowhere. So obviously, all my benefit, success, or anything like that I get is all to you guys, so I truly appreciate that. That means a lot. It really helps me, so thank you guys again. My forum subs, my subs here, my sharing, all that, I appreciate it, guys. Thank you. Damn, I take creatine every time I work out and I'm going bald. Yeah, man, it's horrible. Anecdotal wise, it is horrible. Could you mention zinc and its use in the body, benefits and recommendations dose food wise? Well, recommendation, if you mean dose wise, supplement form, don't. I only suggest zinc when I really highly suspect a deficiency, you know, like stuff like, you know, thyroid based hair loss and stuff like that. Zinc is very important. Zinc's very important for DHT, prolactin, testosterone, muscle growth, protein synthesis. Is like every vitamin and mineral has like 200 different goddamn processes and effects that is so important. But you don't want to supplement that one usually, only if I really suspect a deficiency. Yeah, don't supplement it. Look in your foods. It's not that hard usually. Get, again, variety is key. You get that variety, you're getting your zinc and everything else. So if Deca doesn't cause hair loss, why do some female experience hair loss when taking the pill? The pill, I'm assuming you meaning birth control. Well, one, look at D-bol and EQ. D-bol is methylated EQ, right? Completely different drug. One causes hair loss. One, they make different DHT forms. They're completely different drugs. Taking birth control is not Deca. That is not Deca. It is progestins, right? Completely. If you alter a chemical, one tiny little thing, it is a completely new hormone, completely new drug. This is why birth control pills like the progestins are shown to increase all different cancers and so horrible for you, but progesterone will have anti-cancer benefits. Completely different items, not the same. Hair loss with birth control, again, you're usually, so birth control is not bioidentical hormones. They're toxic estrogens and they're toxic progesterones, which again cause opposite effects, completely horrible for your body. You are and here's the thing, when we take these, all pills are different. Some are higher progesterone, some are higher estrogen, and you know, they're all over the place. Like it's due to a variety of causes due to that. If the old school bodybuilders like Mike Metzer were around today, taking some drugs, better diet and supplements, do you think the old school bodybuilders will be in the Mr. Olympia today? Tricky to answer. Sorry guys. Huge, you need to change a lot of factors because they used to really overtrain, and as a lot of studies really show, to a certain point when you do overtrain, you can actually cause atrophy of the muscle. You break it down too much so it won't recover. And then things like creating new myonuclei, you need to break it down the muscle so badly that it took 5 days to recover. So the people who are training too frequently like they did are doing themselves a disservice with myonuclei. The main thing the bodybuilder is different. I think the different exercises did helped them a lot. Usually they have a lot better chest today. It's all, oh, you got a bench, you get a big chest. And a lot of bodybuilders today have a shit chest. And back then it was all about flies, immense amount of flies, and they had really full big chests. And I believe in isolation is a lot better. So I think a lot of the bodybuilders, yeah, they would be. I do not think a lot of them would be on the Olympia stage. If you check a lot of their genetics and stuff back then, but here's the thing, it could have been due to the bad exercise selection they're doing. Like a lot of them lacked the hamstrings and stuff like that. But a lot of them did have really shit shape and physique and stuff like that. And they were just like a bigger version of an average human in a sense. A lot of them, like more of the lesser named ones. Yeah, I know. So yes and no. Yes and no. A very tricky one to answer, you know. But example, look at Mike Mentzer. I'm sorry, but people, when you see somebody with a face, this is another thing. You see his face, you're like, wow, you like idolize him and you look up to him. Take other pictures of Mike Mentzer that aren't like the glamour shots and cut out the face and find a really good looking fitness model physique that is a bit bigger than a fitness model, and they'll be better than Mike Mentzer. Again, look at specific shots. Like, you know what I mean? There's certain shots where his triceps are really pumped and he just looks so full and round and great, but cut off his head so you're not recognizing Mike Mentzer. Take some of the poor shots and compare it to like some random fitness model, and it's like, wow, like these guys don't really stand out. Some of them, obviously, some of them really do and really great. And Mike Mentzer is a favorite. I do like his shape, but when you see other photos where he's not as full and stuff like that, it's like, you know, it's not that great. 18 and unfortunately already noticed a thin hairline. You think I should try Ketoconazole shampoo or anything else? Maybe some supplements. Sorry guys. Go to tn.com. Under articles, it's free. Go to my hair loss thing. I fully break down hair loss. Like, why would you let it go? There's no point in letting it go. Go to my testimonials on tn.com. See the people I've regrew their hair, even myself. Why let it go? Hair loss is not natural. The hair loss you're experiencing is due to imbalances in your body. Absolutely, why not? I have recommendations of all the items that I like, and my recommendations are stuff that hits from each different mechanism that I think is the most important, and each different item that I think works the best in those different mechanisms. Emu oil, peppermint oil, estrogen cream, which doesn't really absorb topically, especially on the scalp. Ketoconazole cream, shampoo is shit. Because you can leave it on overnight and it's not as irritating. Yeah, go to my website, ten.com, check my testimonies and my article, it's free. On hair loss, I fully break down every single thing to do and to use. Yeah, why would you let your hair go if you don't want to? But read my article in depth because I explain why you're getting hair loss and why you're getting male pattern baldness, which is increased sensitivity and increased hormones locally in specific areas. And the specific areas that is due to circulation. The tension due to, example, poor lifestyle, bad posture, is creating that tension on the galea, which is creating the specific male pattern baldness. And we know this from studies. When we stretch the material over a skull, we see the tension is highest in the male pattern baldness aspect. So something is wrong in your body. You're not having hair loss for no freaking reason. You are having poor posture, poor circulation that is creating that is causing hypoxia in the scalp. All this is proven when bald men have hypoxia, half the oxygen and so on. Half the oxygen is proven in the scalp to increase 5-AR enzyme. It increases your androgen receptors. Those specific areas due to tension is creating an imbalance in the receptors and the follicles, and that is why you're getting hair loss. So why would you go through it? Yeah, but go to my article. I explain all that in detail. It's free right on my article. Hey, 10, if you wanted to build legs like Tom Platz, how would you train and what PDs would you take? Well, PDs, it doesn't matter. You know, it's all your food. PDs enhance your androgen receptor. They all semi do the same thing. Take any drug you want. Base your cycles off the side you want to avoid. If you want to avoid hair loss, don't take the hair loss items. Use Deca and D-ball like the old pros. Legs like Tom Platt. So I always suggest my workouts, and I have on my forum where I suggest workouts to create the most perfect balanced physique that I think is the most balanced physique. Example, one of my favorite physiques is Kevin Levrone. I like tall chaps, like rear delts that pop out so you see them from the front, and strong triceps that hang out so it's like a swooping down all the way down. He's my favorite physique. I like a strong lower chest that comes up. I don't like everything on his physique though, but Tom Platz, and I don't love Tom Platz's legs either. There's a few other legs I like better. So Tom Platz, the issue with his legs that many people are missing, one is usually the adductors, the inner thighs. So I would do a lot of work that is hitting the inner thighs. That's why he looks so much fuller than a lot of other people. A lot of adductor work, which my favorite one is simple machine, get some isolation in there, but every squat movement you do, my favorite is Bulgarian split squat and or lunges. Do them wide. The wider you go on these will hit it better. Do it wide, lean forward, and do your foot forward out more. This will hit your leg overall more better than normal squats focusing on the quads. And most people, they're strong from the front, they turn to the side, the legs disappear, they turn to the back, the legs disappear. So when we do Bulgarian split squats like that, we're hitting the abductors, the glutes, the hamstrings all more, and it would create a more developedly even leg. Lots of Bulgarian split squats, bent over to hit the glutes and the hams, to the side for the abductors, and leaning forward for more glutes and hams as well. And too many people focus too strongly on quads. I like a strong ham and glute work. So lots of isolation for the glutes and the ham. Treat them just as important as the quads. So lots of split squats like that. Some hip thrusts, more abductor work. The two main forms of hamstrings you need is like a stiff-legged deadlift and or a ham curl. You can also do, you know, a body isolation form, but most people never do that. Yeah, so that is my main suggestions for legs. Will topical finasteride work directly on the scalp to block DHT rather than oral finasteride that only blocks DHT through testosterone? Well, it's both blocking DHT through testosterone, right? It just adds as explained on hair loss, the hypoxia is creating an increase in 5-AR locally. So yes, it will. Go to tan.com, read my hair loss articles. Those are the items I like to block DHT locally. Emu oil does it, peppermint oil does it, bioestrogen cream, ketoconazole cream, massaging, increasing circulation. All those things do it, and I like it better. Any hair loss tip? I saw a dermatologist and he gave me finasteride, 1 milligrams, Minoxidil, but I'm losing hair like crazy. So I just explained this. I'm not sure if you heard it. I'm going to kind of sum it up because you might have not have heard it. Maybe you join later. Go to tn.com, read my hair loss article. All of those items are the articles I suggest in detail, which I said, fixing your circulation, because balding men have half the circulation, half the oxygen, which oxygen increases your DHT locally and increases, blunts your estrogen, all that stuff. Don't use finasteride. Blocking DHT can shrink your penis. We've seen it in animal studies. I don't like minoxidil. It causes facial aging. Google minoxidil facial aging. You see people's collagen breakdown and they say they look 10 years older. Freaking hate it. I'd rather do it and actually increase your circulation and stuff like that. Go to tan.com, check my testimonials, see some of my hair loss pics of other people that I've recovered, and I'm going to upload more soon. Whew. Should I cycle high doses of taurine for testosterone increase? I read an article you posted saying you have seen falls increase your testosterone to 59 in some cases. Absolutely. I like taurine. Don't use it long term. I only use it specific cases. You know, on and on, because you can throw off other amino acids, but when it's needed for that boost, yes, it protects the liver. On cycle especially, I like it because it protects the liver. Maybe you're natural, actually. 2/3 of your taurine is destroyed by heat. So all that meat you're eating for all your protein, 2/3 of it is destroyed by heat. So it's one I like to use as a low dose, kind of long term as well. Does finasteride block all DHT and prevent hair loss from all anabolic, or is that only topical? Finasteride blocks DHTs from the ones that go through the 5-AR enzyme. So stuff like Winnie, Anavar that are already a DHT derivative, it will not block it, no. Wait, can a dermatologist prescribe you hair loss drugs? I was also thinking where to get them. Don't do the hair loss drugs, man. Look at the side effects people get, like permanent libido loss, some of these guys and stuff like that, and don't do the hair loss drugs. Just don't. You know, as I explained, the root cause of the hair loss, like go check my testimonies in my articles. And we already know the hormones, because you asked about the hormones. We already know the hormones in balding men. Serum DHT and stuff like that is all fine. It's locally the DHT and stuff like that is messed up. Fix it locally. Don't be messing with your serum hormones that aren't a mess. Would you do another collab with Leo Longevity? I would be interested to discuss nutrition. Yeah. On TRT, 100 milligrams. Sex drive is kind of meh. No problems when it comes down to it, but I don't seek sex like I used to anymore. Any tips other than get a new girlfriend? Absolutely. Test destroys my libido. Estrogen in most men, even TRT. Google TRT and sex drive loss. It's insane. It happens a lot. TRT having higher estrogen kills my sex drive and my libido. It's horrible. I can barely get hard and stuff like that. I'm very estrogen prone. That's why. A few things increase your androgen receptor content. Carnitine, vitamin E. Those are very strong for prolactin and estrogen, which TRT can raise your prolactin through the roof. However, for me, I don't like testosterone, the hair loss, the dick function. I'm so estrogen prone, this and that. I just don't like it in general. That's why I use Deca cycles when I do cycles, and a lot of my guys will even use Deca based as HRT. They find that, you know, they want to beat off 6 times a day, and so that just send your hormones through the roof, blah, blah. Supplement with potassium, absolutely no. If you're needing to supplement a nutrient, you're off in a whole bunch of other nutrients. So why would you take one and throw off others? And when you take one, you can throw off others. It's not hard to get potassium. One is, even if you're on low carb diet, one tomato is 350 milligrams. Have a tomato meal you just jacked up. Have a potato a meal that's 1500 milligrams. You do not need it. Do not do that. What is the safest safest PCT clinic? I'm not sure. I mean, clinic. Clomed. Go to my videos on here, or I think I have my article on the site. I don't know. My videos on here. I go through the safest hair loss drugs, and I mentioned Clomed there. It's the safest one by far. The Novadex and stuff. I'm blasting with Test, Androgen, and Winnie to lose as much hair as possible before I get a hair transplant. I don't do not do that, because one, why would you do that? Those drugs at the end of the year aren't going to make you look any drastically different. You know what I mean? One, then you have less hair. You're going to need more. Here's the thing, it's going to mineralize the whole, let's say you just need it in your temples, it's going to mineralize the ones all on the top of your scalp too, and eventually, you know, after months and months, you'll eventually start to notice that will look thinner even after you stop. So you're going to need another hair transplant. You should be focused on keeping as much as you have and regrowing it, and then, because once you get a hair transplant, you're going to lose it. You'll notice people, they start losing behind first, and then they're thin behind the hair transplant in the front. I wouldn't do that. Do you aim for pump in the gym, high reps, low reps, volume intensity? Tian.com. I think I posted, because I have two versions. I have one on my forums, and I think I have one on the free section where it's a little less in detail, a little more summarized, of a complete training article. I go through volume, pump, intensity, reps, sets, every single thing, and I'll kind of summarize that for you here since it's a really big article. One, proven. So bodybuilders and powerlifters. Powerlifters have proven they had more type 2 fibers, and bodybuilders had, bigger type 2 fibers and very low type 1, and bodybuilders had bigger type 2 and type 1. And it's proven that you can actually change your fiber type from type 1 to type 2 and grow both of them based off the reps and stuff you work out. So why are bodybuilders bigger than powerlifters? They do all reps, whereas powerlifters just do low reps and only increase type 2 fibers. Bodybuilders do high and low reps and increase both fibers. That's why they're bigger. So what I suggest people is hit all reps. Very important, equal amounts of all reps. Intensity, as we know, beginners do better off failure, but as people advance, they show less strength and size when they go to failure. So I like 1 to 2 reps is high failure. Volume, the more the better to a degree. So I give like a set range and stuff like that. All this based off, I base everything in my article. What I do is I base everything off real world experience of the most successful people with science to match it as well. Because this is what I tell people. They like to say bodybuilders are just pure best genetics. I'm sorry, but they're humans like you and me, where you may have tried every rep, every workout, everything, because you're, hey, I want to see what I can get the best results possible. Jay Cutler and all those guys, they did all the same things. They tried everything to notice where they got the best results possible. And if they notice experience when they say, oh, when I trained less, like once every 5 to 7 days, I felt I grew better. That, you know what I mean? And if 99% of pro bodybuilders are saying they felt they grew better by doing that, then there is something to that. Success leaves clue. Are you going to listen to the poor person or the rich person who made their money? Do you know what I mean? Like that saying, you give somebody $1 million, a poor person, he'll be broke again. And how many years you give a millionaire $1 million, he's going to turn it into 10 million, 100 million, right? So yeah, success leaves clues. So I pile up all the success leaves clues and I put the studies, because studies are kind of all over the place, but there's always flaws in each studies, and that's what I talk about in my article. So I like to find where those issues are in the articles and the variables that'll help change them, and in the studies that show proof, or I can't think of the word, show proof to the people who are successful. So high volume to a degree, all reps, intensity 1 to 2 reps shy of failure. I go over things like mind-muscle connection, a study proven double the growth, and every single pro bodybuilder swears by mind-muscle connection. Double the growth of finally study proved where mind-muscle connection versus just moving the weight. And this is what I tell people, and so many pros have said it for years. Every inch of the rep, squeeze. Every inch down, every inch up. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Every single body part that was bad on me when I did work out, I swore it was genetics. And when I finally did this method, it's like, wow, that body part became one of my best body parts. So yeah, I think that kind of sums it up. Anyone know what Tan eats for breakfast, dinner, late night meal? I know he likes whitefish and sunflower seeds, but what else? Don't ask that question. Do not ask. What I suggest for people, overall health versus what? So that's a tricky question. Like, I go through periods where, let's say I'm working a lot and I'm so stressed and I'm not giving a shit about my health and I'm being a complete idiot, and, where I shrink all my size, like, am now and haven't worked out and stuff like that. And my breakfast will wake up and eat like freaking brownies and ice cream, and I'll go get some takeout, and I just eat the most ridiculous diet, the most unhealthy, complete absurd foods. I have periods where I go through that, and that is not healthy. That is not good. You know what I mean? Just like that's like going to a cycle, plummeting down. It's like, oh my God, I gotta get this. I'm gonna eat crap. I'm gonna just get this quickly. Just do that. When I eat sometimes. I'm not sure. I answered this question. I'm not sure if you're on my forum, but I broke down. So I'll try to answer this with what I suggested people when I have clients and followers do. On my website on the forum, I broke down, and I think I answered this for you, where I explain why I like fruit every meal, and what fruits like kiwi, pineapple, and stuff for digestive enzymes to help increase your protein utilization. Like specific fruits every meal, and I like fruits every meal because they increase glycogen storage better when it was fructose with glucose. So a little bit of fruit every meal with nutrient dense carb sources like potato and stuff like that. However, when I do diets and stuff like that, I explain to people, if you're going to have white rice, because you don't want to eat potato every meal, or squash, or this or that, I say, okay, just increase your fruits or vegetables every meal to make up for those nutrients that are lost. And some people don't want to eat a lot of whitefish, but I usually suggest 2 to 3 whitefish meals a day if you can. If you're not, it's not going to kill you, but that is my suggestion for the best way possible. So 2 to 3 whitefish meals, and variety is key. Then some pork, some chicken, whatever else you want. Variety with your vegetables, kale, broccoli, stuff like that. Fruits, kiwi, pineapple, honeydew melon, stuff like that. I also like every meal, and stuff like potato and brown rice and stuff like that for nutrient dense carbs. It's essentially what I like to suggest. For a late night meal, I like a carb only meal. Carb only meal is proven to help depression and help your sleep, because when you eat a balanced meal of protein with it, which a lot of bodybuilders do, you are blocking your tryptophan uptake. When you eat a carb only meal, you get more tryptophan uptake or serotonin, melatonin production. Carb only meal late night is one of the best. The thought behind white rice is easier digestibility when bulking. So is it okay to eat it if it's pushing you into surplus? If macros are met, that's a key. Like I said, eating excessive white rice, you're not going to utilize the nutrients, you're going to deplete your nutrients, and it's proven to cause actual muscle wasting when you're depleting your nutrients with just white rice. So I suggest if you're going to eat your white rice, fine, but get you in your meat, get in your vegetables and stuff like that to make up for it, and then it is fine. Absolutely. Your thoughts on boron and bodybuilding? Don't like any supplemented synthetic forms of vitamins. Get it via food. Excessive boron, kind of linked to kidney issues. And I've noticed from experience, and anybody I've ever taken boron, when they're taking a moderate dose, they notice kidney pain. I don't like it. I know it increases estrogen through the roof, whether it's effects on SHBG. You do not want to tank your SHBG. It's actually a carrier protein for your hormones. So if your hormones are going in and out of you too quick, you're not going to see the benefits. This is why men with low SHBG, they actually see no benefits from TRT and stuff like that. Balance all nutrients. So what oil should we cook with? Usually, meals, I suggest that you shouldn't need oils. I like a little bit moderate, more fatty meats. You shouldn't need oils. If you have to use oil, animal fats are the best, the high saturated fatty ones and stuff like that. Like beef, tallow you can use duck fat. If you want to use some other more vegetable oils, more so the more saturated or mono ones like coconut oil and stuff like that. 10, what are the best carbs to eat? Also, you mentioned on your website, meal replacement shake, the use of potato starch and potato flour for the shake. What's the big difference between this? Potato flour can be a little harder to digest in some if you have gut bacteria issues, but the potato flour has all the nutrients, so you want to eat that. Best carbs to eat, any carbs with nutrients. Just avoid the processed carbs. Like literally, that's all there is to it. Avoid the processed carbs and have variety. Potatoes, squashes, buckwheat, quinoa, brown rice. Just avoid the nutrient void ones, so you're actually having the nutrients to utilize it to build muscle. Because remember, muscle is made of micronutrients, not just protein. What's your philosophy about using gear, steroids at higher body fat, 30+%? I see so many cutting cycles, but my experience shows that until you're around 20 or 30%, you won't see any progress for vascularity. Well, if a person has decided to use steroids, why wouldn't you use a higher body fat? If your higher body fat, you want to preserve muscle, you want to see faster fat loss. Like, who cares about the vascularity? You want to see faster fat loss, right? And you want to preserve muscle. So I don't understand that thought. They're like, oh, wait till you're low or whatever. Oh, because estrogen. Okay, well, just don't use a drug that increases that has high aromatase rate. Like my cycles, like actually just like Deca and stuff, and or DHTs if you can use them. So yeah, it speeds up your results and you retain muscle better. So yeah, no reason not to. For what reasons do you supplement with cod liver oil? Are you not concerned about heavy metal poisoning with so much fish in the diet? Yes and no. One, that depends on the fish you eat, right? Cod liver oil is for those people who do not eat fish and they need the vitamin D and vitamin A. Overall, again, I like food sources still, but sometimes people won't do it, so I had to suggest it. What else are they saying? And then also another thing, a very big thing I have people do if things like that are concerned is cilantro, 1 tablespoon 4 times a day, which is proven to rid heavy metals and stuff like that. So yeah, I usually with everything I do, I cover like all bases of things and just in case and stuff. Do you think it's possible to prevent suppression even on a 15-week cycle of tests only at 400 milligrams or 25 milligrams daily? Same protocol as on your website, or does a cycle link not matter? No studies on this. Never tested it that long. Nobody can answer that for you. My guess is my guess would be yes, just the cycle links that I've seen. My guess would be yes, but I can't guarantee that. Coach, currently cutting, dropped from 195 to 165 at 5'10", 10, lean, but still no abs. Surprisingly, all my clothes fit the same. I'm maintaining at 800 calories and I'm not losing any more body fat. Few things. One, calorie cycling. Studies show that people who refit for 2 days in a row every 10 days saw immensely more body fat loss. Your metabolism is keep lowering. Ensure you're getting adequate phosphorus when you're cutting because it prevents thyroid hormone shutdown. Go to my website, 10.com, and make sure you read all my articles on the nutrients needed to prevent metabolism shutdown and adequate for fat loss. And, you know, as example, I always mentioned the polyunsaturated fatty acid study where 700 calories extra a day, they gain entirely muscle, and saturated fat gain fat. Ensure your food items are chosen for body fat loss and not muscle loss and so on. Refeed. I like to calorie cycle actually every 2 days because it's suggested in many studies that metabolism adjusts every 48 hours. So 2 days high, 2 days lower. And then especially with abs, plot reduction of body fat is proven real. There's based off some crappy studies where people weren't eating less, so they didn't see any body fat loss at all. But when they repeated it, when they were eating less, they saw a spot reduction of body fat. Running stuff with your ab work is proven to lose more core fat versus bikes. I hate bikes. It's showing more leg fat. Most people need to lose it on their core. Does finasteride slow your beard growth when you are young and you don't grow it? Yeah. In my logic, would it? In logic, it should. Which cycle has a better hair safe, more gains ratio? Well, as we know, only Deca, as I said, my immense amount of experience, only Deca and Debol are the hair safe steroids, the only ones I found hair safe. They're both going to be fully safe. Debol 50 milligrams or testosterone 300 milligrams of finasteride. Cannot answer that because, you know, finasteride doesn't work for a lot of people because it's only affecting the serum. When it does help affect it locally, because look how many people are on finasteride and they keep losing hair. It may not affect it locally as well. Debol, I've never really seen it cause hair loss. Very, very rare, and it's people that were having hair loss before, etc. So Debol, I have people hair prone running 300 milligrams Debol for months on end. So not my suggestion, by the way, but people doing it. Even myself, I've done that. No hair loss. Yet I run 100 milligrams testing with all my followers and get hair loss. So yeah, is Debol only safe on Deca cycles? Yep, they go to my video and check my hair safe video for hair safe steroids and my article on my website. Which cycle has a better hair safe gain ratio? Okay, just answer that one. Can you say more about what's wrong with sweet potatoes? Nothing necessarily wrong with sweet potatoes unless somebody is getting an imbalance of vitamin D and vitamin A in their diet. So I think you're the vertical diet guy, which you're probably getting very little vitamin D and you're eating excessive carrots, excessive sweet potatoes, and vitamin A can impair your thyroid function, impair your liver function, create digestive, deplete sebum gland production, which is helping acne and cause hair loss. Oh, horrible. What is your thoughts on taking saw palmetto for hair loss? I don't like it. And most people, it has like, when you're blocking DHT serum level, a lot of people get libido issues and stuff on it. You want to fix it topically, your hair issues. If you need, and it's an anti-androgen, that's why I freaking hate it the most. I'd rather more DHT inhibiting items if you need to lower DHP a little bit, like GLA items, hemp seeds and pumpkin seeds and stuff. Is taking betaine HCl tablets with meals to treat low stomach acid a good approach? Do you recommend a different approach? This band-aid your approach. You're increasing your stomach acid by banding it by taking something to help increase it. You need to figure out what is causing it, or you're going to take that item forever. What is causing your low stomach acid? Low B1, low chloride, low potassium, low calcium. Look at your diet, see what you're missing, and fix your root cause. Do you mind delving deeper into creative in hair loss, creatine in hair loss? I think you mean creatine in hair loss. As I said, we have a proven study on it where it increased DHT by like 65%. Creatine, and my experience out of all my users who have used it, and I had used it and myself tested on and off, it is a low dose is way worse than even testosterone at moderate doses for hair loss, way worse. Can tamoxifen cause hair shedding? Absolutely can. If you go to my YouTube video, you see my hair safe steroid cycles. Clomid is the only one that is very, very hair safe, and Novadex is it's pretty hair iffy. I've been taking creatine on and off for years, probably since I was 14. Does it cause hair loss? Yeah, I'm not sure if you heard my answer. It's proven increased DHT in all my immense experience with hair loss sufferers. It does cause hair loss worse than tests. Bread versus rice. As we know, bread, we even people who are not celiac sensitive, we're showing gut damage from wheat and gluten. So worse for your gut health, absolutely. Worse for autoimmune disease and stuff like that. has a little more nutrients because it's fortified, but it's fortified nutrients, which, you know, go to my YouTube, check my multivitamin video where cancer risk and stuff like that. So rice, and eat more vegetables with the rice. How to improve digestion and elimination of animal products. I'm not sure what you mean elimination. WFBP for over 5 years and have this year started including animal products. I can handle eggs and white meat, but red meat is a struggle. So I'm not sure exactly what your issue is. I need a little more detail. Is red meat slowing you down? That could be due to the iron content of red meat. I can't answer that. Usually with my digestive issues, I'm usually doing one-on-one coaching with that. It's so immense. You know, you have to go over like your past history, your diet, see what things are maybe deficient that are causing certain issues. That one is so big. I'm trying to think if I can even sum that up. Improve digestion. Oh man, that's so true. You gotta read my articles for that one. I'm trying to think of any way if I can easily summarize it. So, example, low potassium leads to low stomach acid production. It leads to less contractions of the intestines, which can slow you down and bung you up, and stomach bloating. Low magnesium without proper relaxation of the intestine. Calcium is needed for proper contraction of it. Magnesium to relax it so it can move feces out and keep things flowing, because when things back up, like low calcium can create a weak valvic valve, which is between your small intestine and large intestine, which can allow bacteria to back up, which can create SIBO, and SIBO is what will feed off fibers and carbs and create excessive bacteria like methane dominate bacteria, which causes slowing down of the intestines, which can slow you down and slow down your digestion. Like there is 10,001 different things which affect your digestion and slow it. And these things need reverse engineering. You need to look at your diet and be like, okay, I'm low in potassium, low in B1, which is creating stomach acid, which is allowing slow digestion, and SIBO to happen, and this and that and this and that. It really needs a reverse engineering. I've talked about this so much in my groups and stuff like that. It is like, you know, it's massive. There's 1,000,001 different causes. It's a very, very, very big topic. Maybe if you list your diet here, I can kind of help reverse engineer it a little bit. But yeah, I need to know. I need to know more to answer that better. Whew. Advice on better sleep. Already try not to eat or drink a lot towards bedtime. As a start, my sleep seems to never be great and can feel it affecting recovery as of late. So one of the biggest things I mentioned in the past few videos that I know is the most common cause: do not eat late at night and do not eat a lot. Eat almost all your calories early in the day, and I'm talking late at night, like 5 p.m. and like 200 calories. Any more than that can screw so many people's sleep by increasing your digestive hormones and your stress hormones to utilize the food. If you're eating 200 calories like past 5 p.m., I know it sounds tricky, but this is one of the best things ever. Go to Chronometer, check your nutrients. Is your copper okay? Is your vitamin E okay? Is your calcium okay? Is your magnesium okay? All these are very important for sleep. Is your vitamin C okay? First, check for nutrient deficiency. If nutrient deficiencies are okay, you know, you might want to, it's something you need to reverse engineer as well. Usually you need, what if your histamine is out of whack? So high histamine can disrupt people's sleep, give them insomnia, racing mind, anxiety, and stuff like that. So is it a food intolerance? Is it too much of one nutrient? Is it a lack of one nutrient? And so on. So are you completely against blasting and cruising for people who want to use anabolics? If so, what do you like more, blast and PCT? Heard you say you don't like year-round use. Yeah, I don't like year-round use absolutely at all. You don't need to. I'm sorry, but like you don't need to. So many pro bodybuilders did blast and PCT. Majority of them did, but people want to be in a denial and say they stayed on. The health issues with it, hurting your gains, absolutely I don't like it. I'd rather even just come off, because when people are doing the long cycles, like Deca is in you and make you anabolic for the next 4 weeks. So when people do a Deca short cycle and then come off for 5 weeks, you're still anabolic. You're not going to lose any muscle. You're not recovering, but you're letting your androgen receptors desensitize. And I like even a mini PCT in between there. Look at Dorian Yates and stuff. All these, and people like to say their lies. I'm sorry, but like example me, if you see some of my testimonials and half them aren't even up, maybe even helped a top Olympian that was top 5 in the stage. And these, I'm sorry, but like I've seen insane abuse and stuff like that, but most of these guys they're not staying on. Today, it's a lot of people more are staying on a cruise, and yes, it will work. It's not going to hinder your gains that much, but for health reasons. And it's funny, a lot of these pros are doing things like, and they don't even realize what they're doing to help benefit, and they've suggested. I've seen a lot of this videos where they're actually using Nova and Clomid on cycle, which, as you know, it can prevent shutdown on cycle. If you see my article and my video, Clomid prevent shutdown, and they're kind of preventing cycle without knowing it. And this is one of the biggest things I say for people getting their wives pregnant and stuff on cycle. Oh, I didn't get shut down, but you find out they're using Clomid or Nova and stuff like that on cycle for gyno or this or that. So it's really funny that way. Which Ketoconazole cream do you recommend? I don't know. You can't get it here, but it's always up on eBay and you can import it. So whichever one is usually up on eBay, but they keep taking it down because you're not allowed to sell it, I think, or whatever there. So yeah. What's the best way to absorb hemp seeds when eating them? Grinding and drinking? Chew. You should always chew proper. You're not chewing. Digestion starts in the mouth. You chewing proper creates more surface area for your digestive enzymes and stomach acid and stuff to help break down your food. You should always be chewing proper that you shouldn't need to. Yes, you can grind it and drink it. Go ahead, but chew your food properly. It is so important for health. Do you follow Mike Israetel work? Do you agree with the idea of increasing volume gradually and get volume as high as possible to recover? 7, do you think the volume is the key driver of hypertrophy? Don't follow him. I don't like a lot of it is okay, no, I don't want to say that. Yeah, I don't follow him. I've only seen like a couple of things here and there, so I don't know necessarily what shit. I know from what I've seen, he makes things too scientific, but again, I've never really read any of the stuff, just what I briefly seen of people posting. I don't like the too scientific things. I firmly believe you should listen to your body. You don't know what reps you should be doing. One day you may be stronger than the next, and I like example 1 to 2 rep shy of failure. And you know, it depends on how well you ate, your energy levels that day. Maybe you could do more reps, and if you stop at 7 and so on, and you're doing yourself a disservice or going too hard that day. So no, I do not like to, like, not scientific, but to I'm trying to think of the word where you stick to something so robotic, like when your body doesn't work like that, you know what I mean? So yeah, I don't like stuff like that. And volume, absolutely the key driver of growth. Absolutely, it's well proven and well documented. What was I going to say? But too much is also. Here's the thing about the studies and why the studies vary so much, because sometimes too much growth actually shown to inhibit growth. Diet. If you're working out too much and not eating excessive calories and so on, or the nutrients you need, you actually see a atrophy of muscle, less gains. This is proven multiple studies. We don't know where the volume lies. We can only go by with success leaves clues with studies where bodybuilders do a certain amount of volume and when they are in a calorie surplus and so on and so on. So yeah. How much do you mix and apply the hair loss oils you recommend? Go by feeling. So, you know, wet your hair and focus on your bald spots highly, and then kind of get it all over. You know, I like to say, you know, put like a dab or a gulp of something like emu oil, and, you know, rub it in and make sure it's strongly in your hair loss area is good. And then, you know, kind of do a little bit more, and with it being wet, and get it in on the rest of your hair good. And it's stuff like the creams, like Ashwagandha cream, just a little dab and make sure it rubs in good and clear. And that's what I use for those. Sorry guys, I just had to check my phone for a second. Get a little bit hungry. 77 minutes. Awesome. I think I answered that question. Any less mainstream approaches to improving sleep quality? I think you're a different person. I'm not sure if you answered. I hate this. I'm not sure what issues you guys have heard me answer yet. Do not eat late at night. Eat all your calories early in the day. Proven to increase your stress hormones and digestive hormones, and it'll throw off your circadian rhythm completely. 9 times out of 100 people are eating too late. You want to eat majority of your calories early in a very, very light meal at 5 p.m. No more. Go to Chronometer, ensure all your things, you know, whether it's blue light blocking and this and that and this and that. I find that is the most important factor, is eating early to keep your circadian rhythm in check. Go to Chronometer, make sure calcium, vitamin E, copper, vitamin C, just everything is in check, because all those nutrients are insanely important for proper sleep. Those are what I find. I feel like people are eating too late and not worrying about their eating and doing like blue light blocking and just so many different things for sleep that are not, and they end up not being feel helped that much, and because, you know, they're not doing the things needed. YoTN, for your next live stream, when you start a new question, note down the time so that you can add timestamps. Those would be highly appreciated from all of us. I have to go have a good one. That's what I was thinking of doing as I go into questions, writing it down. A few people offer to do my timestamps for me. The issue with me doing it, I don't want to have to edit on my video and edit like the notches where you click to go through it. Maybe just put timestamps like in the thing. There's so much more work for me. It's a lot of work. but somebody has offered to help, so I'm thinking of doing that, because I think that would be easier for you guys if it just had it in the description. But you know, I'm trying to balance my workflow so much. Like I have so much work with, like, example, constantly trying to keep up the articles, right? Keep up articles. It's taking so much time to edit them, and even making thumbnails. I haven't made thumbnails on my YouTube videos in forever, and I want to make live stream thumbnails. I haven't edited my descriptions on what they're about, even like briefly. And you know, yeah, so much stuff. You know, I'm trying to get my workflow, all that in good. But yeah, I'm going to figure out something for that. Could you realistically compete in men's physique on Deca? Absolutely. Like, so I had one client, Larry Pollock, some of you may know him. He actually lived and trained with Mike Mentzer, and even at that time, you know, half the time Mike was just on Deca solo. Then look at Mike. Mike competed most times on Deca and D-ball, his words, himself, on his things. I've had people compete on that. Somebody who I wasn't coaching, but ended up following my advice. So this doesn't necessarily go with your thing, because it was Deca T-ball, but you should see the guy. Deca and T-ball, he's insanely hard, and he like pro size. So yeah, no, yeah, majority of my followers are on stacks like that, and some of them look freaking amazing. Yeah, absolutely, man, absolutely. It's all diet, you know what I mean? Yeah, absolutely. If Debo is just a double carbon bonnet and methylated EQ mug, why is it worse for hair? When you change anything, slightest bit, it's a completely different steroids. You look at it just from real world experience, and even oh, there's no studies on humans, is there? No. Anyways, look at the results. D-ball makes you hard, vascular, appetite, besides the methylation issue. Hair loss is immense. I don't care who it is. Hair loss is horrible on freaking EQ. D-ball, water weight, immense water weight, fullness, and stuff like that is a completely different freaking compound. We know this from different enzyme and processes in the body that they cause. D-ball doesn't make DHB. EQ makes DHB. Like, it's completely different. They're completely different, and that's why I want to cause this hair loss. I'm coming off my first 6 weeks Deca cycle in a long time. I'm going to do a 4-week off with Taurine. I want to lose a little fat. Should I still keep the protein 300 plus? I hate eating. Yes and no. More protein is better. It's proven better. It's going to help preserve muscle mass and more of that. You don't have to. You really don't have to. You can eat less and cut fine. Like, you can. Especially, you need this time to kind of break and relax. What I tell people to do in the off season, kind of relax. Relax in your eating. Kind of eat more normal. And then just increase the cardio. Spot reduction of body fat is real. I find adding cardio so much better than just focus on a calorie deficient. Do a good bit of cardio. That is my suggestion. Where was I? What do you think about injecting L-carnitine, carnitine T4, primobolan test, trying as a cutting cycle? Again, as I said, pick your cycles off the side effects you want to avoid. Myself, if I'm getting hair loss, I'm not going to take any of those drugs. Well, not any of them, but most of them. The drugs aren't going to make or break you at the end of the year or end of the day. It's all about the side you want to avoid. So go ahead. You know, T4 I like with T3 though. No matter what, Primo, it has, you know, when it eats because of estrogen, it's a good cycle. It'll produce good results. You know, control your estrogen and stuff like that. If you don't get hair loss, yeah. What local DHT blockers would you recommend? Go to Can.com, articles, check out my hair loss articles, very in depth, all of it. Most all of them block DHT. Ketoconazole cream does, the bioestrogen cream does, emu oil does, the peppermint oil does, the massaging does, all that stuff blocks DHT. Those are the items I use. If you want to go a step further and use RE and spirulactone, I have nothing against that. They're fine. Hey Tang, thanks for another Q&A. What would you suggest for a carb-only meal at night, potato or other carb sources? Whatever you want to eat that it's still nutrient dense, but you know, you want to have rice as your sticky potato or something like that, sure, go ahead. Quinoa, buckwheat, make it flavorful. Like example, like white rice, some people you know, you can make a nice little cream of rice, add some vanilla, some berries, or banana, or something like that. You know, you add a little bit of fruit and make it a nice little snack for yourself. If I do 6 weeks on Deca, NPP, and D-ball, take 3 weeks. What does that say? Battery power 15%. Whoa. If I do 6 weeks on NPP and D-ball, take 3 weeks off and go back on for 6 weeks. Can I do D-ball again or just NPP? Well, why wouldn't you be able to deball is my question. If we're about liver toxicity, no. Go to my deball oral only cycle and see half my followers on 300 milligrams. There's a study on 100 milligrams, 6 weeks, no liver toxicity. The old pros used upwards 7 bottles of deball a day for years on end. Some of these guys, it's not as liver toxic as people make it out to be. Deball and NPP, maybe push it to 3.5 weeks off, I would say. You know, NPP is a little in there with the Easter. What is your taking creatine causing hair loss? Not sure if you've heard this answer a few times. Proven studies increase DHT by 65%. And all my experience of thousands of hair loss followers, creatine is worse than testosterone in causing hair loss. Absolutely. Should we eat out protein separate from carbs for improved digestion and absorption? For bodybuilding, no. For at least one meal a day, carb only, yes. But yeah. Canned meat, are they healthy? Okay, high sodium content. There's a few issues with canned meat. No, not necessarily. Histamine buildup and stuff like that. I wouldn't suggest it. Thank you for the detailed answer. I almost skimmed through the website. I skimmed through the website. Can we supplement phosphorus? Kind of difficult to find flounder. You don't need hake, halibut, haddock, great whitefish, great high in phosphorus. Some different pork cuts. You can supplement. I don't suggest it. Get it through your foods, but you can monosodium phosphate if you want to. If coming off a real bad binge, pizza, cheese, soda, milk, etc., should you do anything special or just go straight to a healthy diet? I mean, a healthy diet should be in fixing all your health issues anyways, you know, focusing on your gut health, this and that, you know. Depends on if you're going to get bad bloating from eating healthy and stuff like that, but, you know, no, go and eat such a variety of different vegetables and fruits and, you know, focus on your health. Do you think that intra-workout supplementation is useful? It's useful, like EAA and some passages and carbs. No, absolutely not. Like I already explained, you eating protein, amino acids need micronutrients. Muscle is not protein, it's amino acids, it's micronutrients, it's a whole bunch of things. So you eating just EAAs without the micronutrients, as I explained, people who are eating the same calories, protein, carbs, and fats, but those with those who ate more phosphorus or phosphorus-rich meals utilize more protein, stored more muscle, and gained more muscle. So why would we ever eat anything processed that is lacking the other micronutrients needed to utilize it and get more benefit? It's silly. I always point to Kevin Levrone. I'm like, look at Kevin Levrone, what he eats. No supplements, 6 meals a day in his prime, of just food. Food that is supplying all the nutrients he needs, no processed foods, brown rice and stuff like that. And look how good he is. Ignoring genetics, people want to blame genetics, but I always say, have you ate like Kevin Levrone to say you had worse genetics? No, I don't. Your pre-workout meal is your intra-workout and your post-workout meal. Gastric emptying alone is 1.5 hours and stuff like that, right? So by the time your pre-workout meal is finished digesting, it's your intra-workout. And as studies are proven now, pre-workout meal is more important than the post and intra-workout meal. Pre-workout meal, make it worth it. Do you believe in the study that said creatine increases DHT by like 50% or something like that? Would that mean creatine is very bad for head? Geez, what is the creatine question? I said this like 100 times. Absolutely believe it. As I said, with I'm known as a hair loss guy and people avoiding hair loss with cycles and stuff like that. Every single person who has had hair loss and used creatine seen worse hair loss from creatine than harsh androgens. Whew. Just came from Derek. Video mentioning you. Just subscribe. Awesome. Appreciate it. Again, everybody who subscribed, join my website, following me, sharing my stuff. I appreciate you all very immensely. I do appreciate you guys being here. Honestly. Thanks for answering about the digestion. I would take a look at your site for info, but in a nutshell, I'm 60% plant-based, whole food, and real grass-fed wild-caught meat. Eggs, and maybe calcium. Yeah, I need to see. Even if I said you want to freaking post it here, go ahead and break it down, because I need to see more. You know, is it histamine issue? Is it a silicate issue? Is it a FODMAP issue? Is it a fiber issue in SIBO? Yeah, I need to see more with that. Absolutely. Does collagen protein improve skin? Absolutely yes. Your proline and glycine and stuff like that is needed for proper collagen synthesis and stuff like that. Absolutely, it's a very important thing to get in your diet. Thank you for these live streams, Tian. I appreciate you and Notion feel awesome. Thank you. I appreciate you joining and or supporting me. Thank you. Some foods I eat cause a lot of farts, but they help me give a full feeling during a cut. Should I skip eating to already help me a lot with losing weight? No, it's your bacteria. It's feeding off the bacteria is feeding off the fiber and stuff like that. Increase your variety of these vegetables that are and stuff like that are filling you up. Increase your variety to help increase your diversity. I'm getting tired here, guys. I'm getting hungry. Probably going to end it in a couple minutes. Just a heads up, I think. Is it okay to use Clomid for 3 months? What side effects could you have from it? You can, yeah. It's just like you taking steroids. You're not doing your body the best benefit. Yeah, you can. What was I saying? So it depends what side effects mean, like cosmetic side effects and stuff like that. Like, a high dose of that, some people can, some vision issues and stuff like that. Like, none of these drugs are safe fully. So it depends. Low dose, you're not going to see many side effects. It is generally pretty safe. It's pretty well studied. Women go on it for years on end and stuff like that. Yeah, you're not really going to, sorry, don't take any steroids or stuff like that. You shouldn't notice any side effects from 3 months. We know the side effects on Clomid and its use, and especially if it's a lower dose. In the 3.5 week break from NPD goal, should I take anything? Also, what is the recommended PCT guideline? I just want to gain about 40 to 50 pounds, get the body I want, and not do gear again. You could probably gain that in one cycle, if you're talking about cycle or another cycle. Oh yeah, because you're having a break. Remember, if you've seen some of my results on my testimonials, if you're training intense and you're eating freaking hard of the right foods that just go to muscle gain, like polyunsaturated fats, phosphorus, and some of that stuff that doesn't go towards fat gain, as we know, proven in studies, you are going to gain great and gain a lot and gain lean. A proper PCT depends on how aggressive you want to be. On my site, I have a couple of different PCT breakdowns. So it depends on how aggressive you want to be. People want to do something light. One of my favorite, I'll go like a moderate aggression. 6 weeks. Clomid started at 100 milligrams for 3 days, then 50 milligrams for 2 weeks, and then 4 weeks at 25 milligrams, and Novadex 20 milligrams if you want for the first 2 weeks, or 10 milligrams, and then 4 weeks at 10 milligrams. And then an AI or Midadex like 1 milligrams every other day. Don't do this. I'm saying what I would maybe do. Remember, because AIs don't crush the serums increase your estrogen. They're just blocking it from binding, and AIs will control your estrogen, but it won't blunt your estrogen. Studies on men with 22 milligrams or Midadex don't kill their estrogen, because we're making estrogen again in our testicles, and AIs cannot touch the estrogen made intratascularly. So yeah, I'm getting worn out here, guys. Just a couple more. Like a few more crap. Number one way to combat hair loss. Jesus Christ, what's going on? Go to tn.com, okay? tn.com, check my testimonials. You'll see a couple of hair pictures of people I've recovered. I'm going to post more. Go to my articles, read the hair loss article. In depth, explains everything that causes hair loss, hypoxia, creating local DHT increase. Follow all those items like emu oil, peppermint oil, increase circulation to stop local DHT, and all the other items. Go to tn.com. The article is very in depth. It's free in there. But yeah, I'm worn out. Maybe just like one more. What's your take on facet training? I don't like facet training. Absolutely do not like facet training for muscle growth. I do not like facet training for cutting either. I prefer somebody to do facet cardio for increased spot reduction of body fat, which is proven. I do not like to impair performance stuff when you're training. And also, I've been on testosterone EQ for 4 months now. How to avoid plateauing? Well, like you see, it sounds like you're not getting any gains. Go to tn.com, check my article. Receptor down regulation, short versus long cycles. As we've seen, what matters the most for growth is androgen receptor content. Those who had high serum levels didn't get any, had poor growth if their receptor content was poor. Steroids increase androgen receptor content, and then it down regulates after so many weeks on. This is why cycles have shown on long esters and short esters that 90% of the strength and size gains was the first 6 weeks, and then receptors go back down to normal, and then you're only getting an anti-catabolic effect. Come off the freaking drugs. Come off them, take a break, and then go back on and run 6 week cycles. Yeah, my article explains it in depth, and it is free. It's under articles. Okay, guys. You have great hair because you are young. Is estrogen cream the best? What kind of doctor do you? No, I do not have great hair because I'm young. People have seen, why I became famous is actually for my hair loss. I had an immense amount of hair loss, a poorly receded hairline and stuff like that. And I had to recover. I actually recovered it a few times. And same with if, you know, you're in my group and my testimonies, a couple I've recovered people in their 20s and teens and stuff like that. And you're saying you have great hair loss because you're lying. If you look around, you look how many men are literally slick bald, worse hair loss than yourself even, who are 20 years old. You go on Facebook right now, there's multiple people in the group who are like completely bald at 18 years old and never touch androgens or stuff like that. Yes, hair loss does acquire over time, people who are having it slow, but what was I saying? Yeah, age is a factor in it progressing. Yes, longer time on it, but absolutely not. Tons of people are slick bald at age 20. Clomid during SARM cycle thoughts. Go to TN.com, see my article, How to Prevent Shutdown. Absolutely, it will prevent shutdown on SARMs and steroids. The reason I say SARMs because we know how they work. All right, guys, I should probably end this. How many? 44 watching, crap. I hate ending it with so many people. I'm being worn out from talking so much right now, and I haven't ate yet today. So I'm going to end this here, guys. I'm going to try and come back on later tonight, though. 94 minutes, not bad. Thank you for your knowledge sharing. Awesome, guys. Like I say every time, thanks for watching. I appreciate you guys watching, and I appreciate everybody who signed up to my website. I appreciate everybody who's subbed to me. I appreciate everybody who's following me, and I appreciate immensely when you guys sub and you share my self forum, go to anything like that and get me out there. I appreciate it a lot. Obviously, I hope you guys answering your stuff. Gonna start putting out some more normal videos too with the lives, just so you have like easier to digest. So yeah, guys, I appreciate it again. Great stream. That sweater is doing wonders for me. Thanks. Appreciate it. What was I gonna say? Yeah, thanks again, guys. Yeah, I don't know what I was saying. Mind going off from reading comments and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't know. Thanks. Hopefully I come back on later. Yeah, appreciate it, guys. All right, take care.